So I've made videos on this channel about English, about pronunciation, listening, and other topics, but I've never made a video introducing myself. So I just wanted to sit down, talk like a normal person, tell you a little bit about who I am, how I ended up doing this, and what I'm building here. So my name's Eddie. I'm originally from California, but I have been living in Latin America for the last 5 years, since 2021, and I currently live in the capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires. There's no simple answer about how I got here. I've always been interested in other languages, cultures, ways of living. Studied Spanish my entire life, basically, from high school until college. I got my master's in Spanish linguistics and culture last year, and Latin America eventually started feeling like home instead of a place that I just visited. And living abroad has changed me in a lot of ways. It's made me more adaptable, but it's also made me more aware of how difficult communication can be. Um, you can understand grammar and vocabulary of a different language, but still struggle to express your personality. You can know thousands of words and still feel nervous when you order food, like I do sometimes, even though, like I said, I have a master's degree in this language. Um, so this experience has had a really big effect on how I teach English. Um, so I mostly teach English to Spanish speakers and Portuguese speakers, but I've worked with a lot of different people from different backgrounds and different countries, preparing them for tests like TOEFL or IELTS. Some people need English for work, so I help them with that. Other people just want to have a normal conversation without freezing or translating everything in their head, which I also help them with. But I don't want English to feel like a school subject. I don't like textbooks. I don't like workbooks. They are necessary sometimes, but I base my teaching philosophy on natural communication, which means understanding fast speech, speaking more naturally, improving pronunciation, telling stories, expressing opinions, handling uncomfortable situations, and becoming confident enough to keep talking even when your English is not perfect. And to do that, you need practice, you need repetition. I want this channel to be a place where I can talk about life, languages, living abroad, creativity, work, family, and the process of all of this, and about the beauty of process. Um, so outside of teaching, I am a language nerd. Like I said, Spanish has been a huge part of my life. But I've also studied French, Portuguese, Russian, and constantly learning these languages reminds me of what it feels like to be a beginner, to forget words, to misunderstand people, to pronounce things badly, just sometimes feel like your brain takes a shit and completely stops working. But I think that every good language teacher should always be trying to learn another language to stay humble. I also love history, video games, storytelling, creative projects. I'm the kind of person that gets like obsessed with something and I start planning out entire universes based on it. Books, games, courses, YouTube series. Sometimes I finish those ideas, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't get finished. Sometimes they just become another document sitting on my computer with a title like Final Version number 7. So I'm sure other people can relate to this in some way. Um, I'm also a father. I have a 3-year-old daughter who was born here in Argentina. And this really changes the way that you think about time and ambition and stuff because when you're younger, it feels like you have unlimited time to figure everything out. But when you become a parent, it makes things way more real. It makes you think about the life that you're building, the kind of example that you want to set for your kids, for other people. and which projects are actually worth your energy. I don't have everything figured out, and that's another reason I want to make this channel more personal instead of just helping you with your pronunciation or listening to me speak other languages, maybe. Um, because the internet's full of a lot of people presenting a finished version of themselves, and they show you their successful business, the perfect routine, fluent language skills, transformations, but they don't show you that middle part. And I'm still in that middle part. And so I want to be as transparent as possible and show you about what it means to build something meaningful. Um, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm creating courses, creating materials, experimenting with videos and podcasts, different kinds of content for the sole purpose of just reaching as many people as possible, helping people improve their lives through communication, just like I improved my life a lot through the power of communication, through studying other languages, and just trying to be a better person, better teacher, better creator, better everything. So on this channel, you will find practical English lessons, pronunciation, listening practice, conversation, stories, probably random videos about whatever I want to talk about, because it is my channel. I'm the boss. I run this show. Don't forget. But it can be repetitive. It can be frustrating. But I'm here to try to show people that frustration is not the end of the world, because sometimes it feels like that for me, and that you don't need to be a completely different person to speak English well. I don't need to be a different person to speak Spanish well, to speak Portuguese well, to speak French well. You just need to be more comfortable and confident. And that's the main idea behind everything that I do. So please, I hope you enjoyed learning about me a little bit. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. Let me know in the comments where you're from, what you're working on, and what kind of videos you really want to see. What would really help you be honest about what you're doing, about who you are, about what you're working on. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.